So you have aging parents back at home. They have just retired or they retired a while back. They want a quiet life, a peaceful night life. And you may think that the village is where things are all nice and dandy. But there are predators on the loose. There are people who are looking and conniving and planning on how they can be able to take advantage of these old parents of yours back in the village. They are very conniving. And I will tell you about these people. They are called loan predators, loan sharks who offer subpar loans on sometimes unnecessary things that your parents are convinced to sign into. I have heard so many stories and I have seen so many stories, and I have had a friend who had been the same situation. These loan sharks offer loans on things that make sense when you look at them. They come to the village, they find your parents resting and relaxing, and they come and say, oh, we are going to build you a dam. A dam where you can be able to collect rainwater so that you can be able to plant and be able to increase your harvest and things like something that makes sense. So they come and say, we are going to get you a good water tank. This water tank is going to help you. We are going to make your gutters and we're going to collect water. And you're going to have water, ready water for your livestock, for your home use, and things that make sense. They come and say, oh, we are going to put solar for you because the cost of power is going up. Or maybe there is no power in the village. Something that totally makes sense. Or we are going to do something as simple as we're going to give you a new TV and you're going to be paying every day. Things that make sense. But here is a problem. They know that your parents are not the most educated people in the world. So what they do is they try to make terms as deceitful as possible. They come and say, oh, we're going to offer you this loan at 3%. And your parents, because of the experience, know that interest is charged annually. But this is 3% per month. So it's almost 36%, a loan of 36% per annum. Even more expensive than credit cards. Sometimes they fall 4%, and it can be as high as these loan sharks try to imagine. They know that these parents may have backups upon backups. They know, one, your parents are not going to move anytime soon. They have built a house, they have settled, they have friends, they have community around them. They are not going to move. They have children who are working in town or abroad, and they are going to willing to bail them out. They know that your parents are at a certain age where they have a certain status in the village, in society, and they do not want to be ashamed. So they take advantage of these parents. So they come. Unfortunately, most of them are actually quacks at what they are offering. They say, we're even going to give you a tank. They give you the cheapest tank possible that will probably crack in the next 2 months when it is exposed to the sun, but they still charge you full price. They tell you, we're going to give you a cow, a freshened cow, good milk cow that is going to produce 20 liters plus per day. But then this cow turns out to just be a black and white cow that ends up producing 2 liters in a whole day. And they feed a lot and are even using a lot more resources than they are entitled to. They conned your parents. So they give you a loan, they give you bad terms, they give you bad products because again, they are quacks. They make you a dam that is going to be leaking. Maybe they are not going to be going to give you a good lining to be able to collect the water. Maybe they didn't even do the groundwork and the survey work to see that the water is actually going to flow into the pond. Maybe the pond is even higher than the place that is supposed to collect this water that goes to the pond. They do substandard things because your parents are knowledgeable. They do not know these things. Your parents sign things that are expensive, buy things that do not make sense, and interest starts accruing. Remember what I said, your parents are at a point where they do not want to be ashamed. So they use several tools to force your parents, one, to pay for these loans that are actually going to be exploitative, if not predatory to them. They start coming with threats if you do not pay on time. They start charging additional fees. So they do not only charge a high interest, they start charging additional fees on your parents, late payment fees, and penalties if you do not pay on the specific day that you agreed. And remember, your parents are aging. They may not always remember when they need to pay these things. So they end up incurring charges. For example, you hear somebody has a loan of say 40,000, but if they delay in payment, they're given a late payment fee of 5,000, which is capitalized again. So now their loan is 45,000 remaining. When will your parents ever be broken from this enslavement of debt? Or you find that if they fail to pay, they are charged 25% of the value of the capital that is remaining. So if it is 40,000, they end up being given a penalty of 10,000 plus the interest that has been accruing. Your parents become in debt. You find a parent has taken 40,000 worth of loan, but they end up paying 200,000 shillings with a lot of threats and a lot of intimidation. Your parents, who are healthy from the beginning, start having heart conditions, start having high blood pressure, start having palpitations, start getting tension and shocks all of a sudden. They're even cutting short the life of your parents. These people are in the village. My friend, you need to sit down with your parents and come to an agreement, because parents may have the old age knowledge of trusting the people who come to them and talk to them in a certain way. And they may be forced into slave-like contracts that are going to see them, instead of having peace in their retirement, of having a semblance of stability, to having a semblance of chaos, threats, intimidation, illnesses, and a lot of issues because of these loan sharks. So talk to your parents, ask them, are there in any contracts, and read them. Tell them not to enter into any contract until they contact you. Look at the loan terms. In fact, don't even allow them to take loan terms from people who come to the village walking left, right, center. Tell them that you will be giving them the money that they need to be able to open these businesses. In fact, be able to do a sound investment plan for whatever they want to add onto their farm. Ensure that you go through it as a family, because sometimes the devil is in the details. The details of a contract that most of us actually don't read, the small terms in small print that we don't read, are that what is going to enslave your parents. You do not want your parents, having built a home, having invested so much, start fearing living in the home that they actually built because of these people. They come with intimidation tactics. They start shaming you. They start taking your contacts and sending them texts and saying, oh, we are going to open a harambe because this person has not paid their loan. Over and above threatening and shaming you, they still are going to force you to pay these things. Some of them even come to the village, to the home, and start carrying livestock. They start taking things. A lot of pressure because of these pests that are actually frustrating your parents. They come and tell your parents, oh, we're going to do some electrical work here because we're seeing this and this is not working. And mark you, in the village, there is bound to be something that needs to be worked on. Nothing is perfect. Every homestead has something that has to be improved. So they will always come and find something that needs to be done. But don't allow your parents to be imprisoned by these predators. People who are going to make your parents into slaves for them. So ensure that you meet, you talk about it, you go through it as a family, ensure that they do not take loans on themselves. Because remember, people who are giving subpar loans to people who are not even working, who do not have a stable source of income, and people who are in the age where they cannot be able to work, are people who are not looking to improve their lives, but to use them to be able to make their ends meet. You know these creditors, they are everywhere and anywhere, and they started going into the villages. They have stopped town people, now they are coming into the villages because they realize town people are becoming brighter, becoming wiser. Now they are coming into the village where your parents may not know everything, and your parents may be, in a way, not able to fathom every financial consequence of anything that they sign into. So ensure that they are educated, ensure that they are transparent, and tell them not to take any loans at all unless you have co-signed with or have seen what these loan terms and conditions are. Let them not start any projects until you have looked at the feasibility study of this project. Otherwise, they will also be conned by contractors who start and do things and do substandard work, and your parents will not even have the energy or the time to chase these people around. So villagers in Africa are on the attack. They are now being targeted, and you need to ensure they do not meet your parents, your relatives back at home, because we do not want to see our parents again getting into old age poverty because of things that you can be able to control. I I hope that you are learning, you're growing, and you're becoming better in your financial affairs. And remember, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down in the comment section and like this video. Thank you and enjoy your day.